Welcome to Season 1 of Gaming with Scott presents Stargate SG10, a Southgate Media production. Join us each week as our Stargate SG team follows a path of adventure and attempts to save the world and each other from the dangers of the universe. Starring Joshua Jackson, Kat Moran, Scott Troiano, and Cindy Bergen, with Scott Somerville running the table as Game Master. Epic adventures await just beyond this music. Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gaming with Scott. I am here with Cindy.
Hello.
Kat.
Hiya.
Josh.
Hey.
I am Scott, and I'm going to throw it over to our Game Master, Scott.
Good evening and welcome back. Just to recap, our party has decided that they are going to split themselves up. Half of them going back to communication with Stargate Command after checking on the rest of the party initially left at the mines. Meanwhile, Dr. Marine and
Ursula
are going to
Meadows.
stay in the city of Nashif and get to know the locals better.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, never split the
Duh.
party.
Agreed.
Yeah, I got that. And when the DM opens with, so they decided to split the party.
All downhill.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So, well, then I imagine we're going to eat, and then we're going to turn in, and I don't want anyone to come visit me in my apartment.
The night closes out fairly uneventfully, although the locals do seem to want to have more conversation with you in earnest.
Okay.
However, they recognize that the hour is late, and many people turn in. Everything seems relatively normal for a given value of normal. That you've upset a great deal of people.
I've got a question.
You do?
Yes. The priests who seemed most annoyed and angered, did they leave early, or are they still about?
They're still about. Some of them.
Do they still look angry? Or are
There's-
they watching us?
There's a considerable amount of discussion going on.
Okay. Okay.
All right. The night passes, and in the morning, your bride wakes you up.
Nice. Get up, get ready. Get everything. If everything's already packed, then get it out, ready to go.
She is. She's looking fairly impatient at you.
Oh, see, now I thought it was going to wake up like that Beatles song. Not Norwegian Wood? No, none of that.
Jesus.
Anyhow, moving on. No, she doesn't wake you up in a good way. She wakes you up in a...
No, it's not nasty or it's,
I thought
it's
it was
just
like you've
she's ready to
overslept.
go.
Nice.
All right.
Your last snooze has gone up.
Yes.
A local wakes you,
Okay.
rapping at the door. You emerge into the plaza. There are several pack animals
Okay.
carrying various accoutrements, well, water.
Oh,
And
good.
there's a large contingent of families, about 15 or 20 adults and 20 or 30 children.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Wait, 20 or 30 children?
Yes.
Where are they going?
Well, they're not going to leave them here for ISIS, are they?
Are they coming with us?
Are these new children or
Seems
children
like
that were there? Or...
Pretty sure they weren't all born last night.
Well, no, I just don't. No, I don't remember there being so many children here before.
Oh, yes.
They
You've seen
probably
several
okay.
children throughout the city.
Okay, then I won't worry about it then.
Yes. Not late into the evening, but you have seen them.
Okay.
Okay. So are they all gathered as if to travel with us?
Yes, they are.
Please ask them what's with the children. The three of us were planning on going.
4 of us.
They probably.
Pretty sure I
want-
can tell you, but I'll ask anyway.
Yeah.
The four of us?
Oh, no, they're staying back. Yeah, we're splitting the party.
Right.
Yeah. Is Kasuf there?
His son is.
Even better. I was wanting to talk to him anyway. Skara, right?
Scotty.
Skara. Fix that. Okay. So turn to Skara. With a 1, I will speak at him in gibberish.
Kasuf?
Skare, his son. Oh,
Kasuf?
ask about Kasuf.
There's a look of comprehension, and he hurries off.
Yay. We can redo that 1.
Yay.
That's all right.
A little time passes, and he returns with his father in tow.
Does his father look okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Okay. I will try and ask Kasuf this time. With a 2, marginally better.
How are you going to phrase it?
Pointing at the families and especially the children, are they traveling with them?
Yes.
Looks like you have passengers.
Why?
Do you really need to ask that?
I'm going to anyway,
Yes.
just make the captain happy.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to ask that.
With a roll of 5, is it to keep the children safe from ISIS?
Yes. Just as
There
you
we
promised.
Yep.
Okie doke.
He wants to kick our
Have
butts.
fun, Nanny.
I don't have any problem with this.
Okay, good.
The sands continue to shift, and you cannot build a house upon them. To do so is folly. Fair enough. I am very much at this point in a mood that is akin to the phrase "Inshallah." All good.
Inshallah.
Okay.
One of the little ones wants to take your hand.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Where do they want to take it?
Yeah, I was like, detach it and stuff it in their little robe and run off to the.
They hurry you to one of the pack animals and offer you a seat.
Oh, you don't have to walk the whole way.
I
That's
was
nice.
planning on walking, but okay, sure. I let them set me in the thing.
They're being nice. Just go with it.
Yeah. It's not going to end well.
Is there anything I should relay to Kasuf?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right.
What are we buying?
Let's head to the mine.
Okay.
All right, you set off through the trackless wastes. The hours pass.
With some reasonable sense of the direction of the mine, correct? We have the map. We have the we had the 3 points that we were doing before.
They're generally in the same direction at this point.
Okay.
But yes, you do veer off towards the mine. Your wife manages to guide the caravan generally in the right direction. The locals do know where they're going.
Okay.
There is some agitated conversation back and forth. However, your wife seems to be assuring them that everything's all right in a fairly authoritative tone.
Great.
She's going to be fun.
You've created a monster.
I'll drop
Oh, he
her
just
off
married
at a
her.
deserted planet the first time.
You got the best pick.
Whatever.
You did. You got the best pick.
Yes, you should be thanking your lucky stars you got that one. Because she knows what the hell she's
That's
doing.
2 people I'm going to leave on a deserted planet.
What?
No,
You're
you-
going to leave your wife and Little Red? Don't do that.
Not you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yet.
Yet. All right. Then I'm just sure his wife's up front of the caravan going, just shut up and we're going to the mine. Great. Okay.
The time passes. The sun rises over the desert. And eventually you come in range of the tent that marks the boundaries of the mine.
Okay.
The locals all pull up to the tent. They're very well familiar with it. You see several of them pause, do some basic chores as you dismount.
All
and they
right.
look to you.
Okay. Is anyone in evidence? Tanis, any of his 2, or Miss, starts with an M.
More.
Miss Moore. Kelly Moore?
Kimberly.
Kimberly Moore. I just knew there was a K in there.
No, I'm sorry. My bad. Tammy.
Tammy
Moore.
Well, then I knew there was a K in there. Tammy Moore. Okay. Is there any sign of the 3 or 4 of them?
No, there is no sign of anyone in evidence.
Any of their gear or equipment?
No.
Okay.
There's a few discarded boxes, whatnot, but the
But nothing that wasn't there
useful
already.
equipment is not there.
Okay. I'm going to make my way up to the mine shaft where little red dot was last time when he poked his head in. Remember what I mean? Flash a light down there. No discernible traffic or evidence.
No.
Okay. Well, then, they're not here unless you have any other thoughts or ideas.
No, not my monkeys, not my circus. Thought we were going back to the Stargate.
Yeah, well, we were going to see if Turnus and Miss Moore were still here, and then...
I don't think they're here, sir.
I don't think so either. All right, let's head to the Stargate. And I'm going to... The Stargate. The pantomime Stargate, or draw it in the sand if I needed to.
Your wife understands? And
Got a smart one.
You
And
did.
the
You got the
caravan-
best pick of the lot, dude.
You shut your mouth.
The caravan sets off back towards the Chapel Island, off in the distance. Meanwhile, back in Nagata.
Mm-hmm.
After the caravan departs, you are invited over to the town square, you and the doctor, where something is cooking. And you are generally welcomed to be seated.
Do we have anything to contribute to the meal?
Yes. Salt.
Excellent.
Each of you give me a roll, please.
8.
8.
You notice there's a selection of meat, primarily from the creature that tasted more or less like chicken. Mm-hmm. There's also a large number of breads, some fruits and vegetables, and generally a lot of vegetation.
For a desert area? I don't know that much about desert life. Botany
Maybe
and-
they've rigged some form of hydroponics.
Yeah.
Looks like a lovely meal.
Mm-hmm.
You're invited to partake.
We'll thank them. Offer them the salt.
They take it. They're looking at you very curiously.
Okay, well,
Yes.
try some of the fruit first.
It's unfamiliar. It tastes somewhat of the consistency of a pear,
Okay.
but is somewhat tart like an apple.
Oh, delicious.
Doing well so far?
Pie.
Yes.
Tell them thank you.
All right.
And delicious.
You're starting to learn the word for thank you, so you've heard it often enough.
Okay.
Probably still sound like a tourist.
Yes.
We both do.
Kasuf and Scotty are talking to each other, and they're looking at you fairly consistently. Eventually, they ask, "What do you wish to do?"
What do we want to do, Doc?
One of the things the doc wants to do is like point at the pear apples and ask what the name is.
Starfruit.
Starfruit. Okay. Basically, she wants to learn the word what. Point and say what.
Have I managed to figure out what?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you have.
So I can teach
Yeah.
you what. Yay.
Points to you.
You need to learn como se dice en inglés. How do I say this in English? Go ahead.
I know that
Que
I know
significa
that she
este?
has a lot to do here. So the doctor will basically spend time with the matrons. We'll ask, nouns. We'll ask like what if she sees somebody running verbs, things like that. You know, she's not the best at this. This isn't her bailiwick, but, you know, she's had to learn Latin.
Can I teach her the basics of what, how, why, where?
Yes.
Okay. So you have that in your arsenal.
You're fairly sure.
If it goes pear-shaped, it's not my fault.
It's starfruit.
If it goes starfruit shaped, it's not my fault.
But I know that the doctor's basically going to be taking a back seat to what she needs to get done, because what she needs to get done is more important.
At this point, I'm looking at
I'll be here in advisory.
Kasuf and Skare and just learn talk with a 2. Obviously, I need to learn to talk better.
They look at you and very indulgently. Yep. They look at you very indulgently.
Very hopeful smile.
Yes, they smile back.
A 2, again. It's just gabbling at them. I just want to talk. This is not going well. Thank you. Bring these dice out of seclusion, see if they do any better.
There's a whole bunch more over here.
I might try my luck with those. That's an 8. Sorry, we'll try this one. This is pretty. Okay. Again, girls versus guys in gaming. It's a pretty die. I'll use this one.
Yeah.
For our listeners at home, the Gaming with Scott library does include a tutorial on how to train your dice to roll a certain way. You can look that up. It's less than 2 minutes long.
Yeah, that
need
never
that.
works for me.
For both sexes.
Yeah, there you go.
I need
Genders.
to look that up. All inclusive.
Genders?
All flavors of people.
Sexes and genders.
Gender is the more specific,
Whatever. It's
scientific term.
Sexes were this hand gesture versus that hand gesture, right? That's how we explained Red and his new wife, Edward down. I digress. Back to your listening pleasure.
Back to game.
Hey, buddy, it's all right.
Okay, let's try this die and ask them to teach me how to speak bloody whatever this language is. 4. It's not a 2 or a 1.
What are you asking exactly?
Can they teach me how to talk? I'd want to speak their language better.
There's some discussion between the two of them, and they call out another young man to come into the plaza. They introduce him. His name is Anesh, and they present him to you. There's some discussion back and forth with Anesh and Skara and Kasuf, and Anesh sits down with you.
Does Anesh have a ruler in his hand?
Please say no. I want to spare my knuckles. You didn't go to Catholic school, did you?
No.
I understand the reference.
Okay.
It's not going there.
Okay.
What you do for entertainment on your own time is...
Wow.
Well done, sir. Well done.
She's going ready again.
I suspect that's why he does it.
Yeah. Oh, now look at that. He's very, very interested now.
Is it a new shade of red?
Ooh, yeah.
The amazing Technicolor cat.
Wow. And there's your T-shirt, by the way.
Is it going to be a
No.
red shirt?
The amazing.
No,
No,
we discussed
Technicolor.
that. No red shirts.
No,
Tie-dye,
no red
maybe.
shirt. Tie-dye maybe, but the amazing Technicolor cat. I wanted shirts by the end of the year. That one wrote itself.
Pretty much.
I'm making note of that.
One thing that the doctor would be doing is just taking a look at the people, noting, trying to figure out if there were different factions?
Well, you've been led off back towards the hospital,
Okay.
where you've been actively engaged with...
Mm-hmm. The matrons?
Yes, with the matrons.
Does it seem like there are cliques within that group?
No, it's very
Okay.
well organized.
Okay.
And you notice, as you did before, that it's surprisingly advanced for the given level of technology you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great deal of attention paid to basic sanitation,
Mm-hmm.
to disposal of waste.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a city that's very well organized, surprisingly for you,
Yeah.
more than it ought to be. And you can reconcile that as you're looking around with the very low incident rate of disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of disease. But does this all seem to stem from the healers? Or does there seem to be like a caste that collects trash and disposes of it?
If there is, you haven't seen it, although certainly there must be.
Yeah.
But you are seeing a high degree of technical proficiency as far as the healing arts.
Okay. What about elements? Do they know basic elements?
You haven't seen anything to indicate that.
I know that they aren't supposed to write, but I'm thinking if anybody does, it's got to be these guys.
You haven't seen anything regarding that.
Okay. Keep
As you
eyes out.
Tour the hospital, you see a great deal of herbalism,
Mm-hmm.
separation of patients,
Mm-hmm.
individual care, but nothing
That's
to...
stuff that could be taught by a more advanced civilization. You know, that's stuff, you teach, basic cleanliness, separating.
They seem to already
sick
know a
from-
great deal of it.
Yeah. But do they know it because that's something they've developed themselves or because that's something that's been handed to them and taught to them by others? And that's what I don't know how to find out yet.
I see. As you're touring the facility, there's a small commotion off to one of the side wings.
Go take a look.
All right. You enter a small private room. The shades are drawn. The curtains are back, and it's dimly lit. There's a very elderly patient with family there, and he's apparently passing away. You can tell because of the labored breathing. He's extremely elderly.
Basically, go up and see if I can help him.
The
Put on-
matrons pull you back. Give me a roll, please.
3. It's her curse.
That one pretty much confronts you. You notice that he is garbed in the array of the priests,
Mm-hmm.
and several of the people around him are also priests.
Okay. And they're basically telling me, butt out. It's his time?
That's one possible interpretation.
Okay. Looking at him, doing a visual observation, does it look like there's anything that I could do to help him if I were allowed to?
Not with anything that you've got, and he is extremely elderly.
Okay.
Any condition that he has is, well
So
advanced.
this could actually be something like hospice.
Very possibly.
Okay. Then respect their culture and offer up my own prayer for him. If there's nothing that medicine can do, then whatever faith is.
That is noted by the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
although they are primarily paying attention to the patient.
Yeah. She wouldn't try and
your-
butt in.
Yes,
But-
and your presence is not objected to, nor are you speaking, although they cannot understand you. They seem to understand the gist of what you're doing. And they tend to the patient who, after some hours, passes away.
She'll watch vigil with them if she's allowed.
She is allowed.
Okay. She respects their culture.
Very good. So, getting back to you earlier in the morning
With Anesh.
with Anesh, who is looking at you very intently.
Greet him and introduce myself.
Anesh,
Mo.
Kasuf gives you a very discerning look.
Kasuf can put two and two together.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it sounds like Kasuf just had the other shoe drop.
That's what that noise was.
They're definitely, letting you take the first step. They're trying to understand, what you want.
Try and convey this. Please roll more than a 2. I want to learn. 10. Yay.
All right. Anesh rises and he helps you up. He beckons you to come with him.
I will follow.
All right.
She gets to go to the teaching machine.
Oh god, that sounds painful.
Oh, dude, that sounds great.
What's your definition of great?
You're led through the city,
Okay.
farther to the west than you've previously been.
Okay.
As you proceed out through the western gates, you see a good deal of foot traffic going back and forth. There appear to be small hills dotting the sides of the landscape as you proceed out. Anesh is being courteous but guiding you, and he's pointing things out in his language as he goes along. Basic words like gate, or as far as you can tell, and you've got a fair grasp on it. But he's proceeding to do it in a very systematic way, as if he was teaching a child. So you're getting a lot of basic words and syntax.
Okay.
Continuing out through the gate, you pass on about a mile or two, and you notice a lot of carts drawn by these draft animals, bringing in vegetables, produce, not in great quantities, but certainly being drawn into the town.
Does he point at the animals as they go by and say what they are?
Yes, he does.
And the word for cart?
You point at it, and he answers you.
Will he let me stop one of the carts and kind of go through the produce that's on it and point and ask? 9.
Yes, he does.
Yay! So I'll go through the different kinds of produce that are in the cart and point at each of them in turn, obviously asking what the names for them are.
There's fruits, looks like some form of grain in pots that are earthenware. There's an assortment of wood, though of a kind you've never seen before, and not much else. There's quantity, but there's not a great deal of variety.
Okay. I'll ask the word for the pot that's holding the grain as well. And
He gives you that.
pretty much the words for everything. And once we're done with the cart, we move on.
All right.
3 if you need a roll for anything.
He points off to the horizon as this beaten track carries on to the west, and also to the hills that dotting the landscape.
Does he give the name for them?
He appears to want to know where you want to go.
Follow the track or go into the hills? No, let's go into the hills.
All right. You proceed off the road up the way about a mile or two further, and you see that several of these hills have clearly defined openings in them.
Okay. Point at the openings and ask what? 7.
Water.
Okay. Kind of make a motion encompassing all of them and ask all of them water? That's a 1.
He's not sure what you're saying.
Point at each of them in turn. And water, water, water.
Yes.
Okay, that one got across good. Okay. And then motion to keep going.
All right. He guides you to the entrance of one of the hills.
Cool. Do we go in?
He looks to you.
After you, you're the leader here.
All right.
You lead, I follow. You're the teacher.
No, he's not. Go ahead.
He's my teacher.
Anesh takes you down a curved corridor that's been carved out of the rock, largely by very primitive tools. You can see it's very rough. The path leading down has been beaten.
Smooth by the feet of thousands of generations.
I wouldn't quite go that far, but it has been generally trodden on very well. And it leads down and down and down. As you go further down this, you begin to hear the sound of machinery, the telltale squeak of something repetitive. Although you can't tell what it is, but it is definitely a rhythmic, mechanical noise.
So it sounds like metal or like wood?
You can't tell.
Okay. Do we continue?
He looks to you.
Nod and motion him ahead.
All right.
I'm curious.
You are drawn further down until you're not quite sure how deep you are, but it's a respectable distance. The air has grown cool underneath the hill.
Refreshing.
And you round a torchlit corner into a larger chamber where you see what looks like a large wheel being turned by people who are trotting on it, turning it manually, standing inside, walking, as water is drawn up from below the surface into barrels.
That's pretty damn impressive.
He looks to you as if, is there anything you want to know?
Is there an obvious hole in the ground where the barrels or buckets or whatever being drawn out of?
Yes, it goes much deeper.
We'll just kind of inch over to the edge of it and look down.
You look down, you see another series of treadmills below, going down other torches and chambers below. The labor appears to be backbreaking as these wheels are turned by 3 or 4 people at a time while others take rest. The air is stifling, although it's somewhat well ventilated. You can only barely imagine what it would be like in the conditions for the chambers below.
I'll try to ask him how deep, how far does it go? 3.
He doesn't quite understand, but do you want to go down?
Yes.
Crazy white girl.
I'm a cat. I'm curious. Leave me alone.
Wow.
That's a 10.
You carry on down into the next chamber as the corridor curves back around itself, wrapping down into the next chamber, about 30 or 40 feet, you might guess, below. As you go down, the air becomes progressively more stifling. The work continues as these people labor to draw water from the earth.
I want to ask something, but I'm not sure how. I'll point at the workers on the wheels and ask, do they stay here always? With a 3.
He doesn't understand. Something to the effect of, yes, they are here.
Can they leave? Pointing back towards the entrance. That's a 5.
They are exchanged with the others who are taking rest. Yes, they have the ability to go. They do.
Okay. As long as it's not like slave labor, they don't get to leave the wells or anything.
No, they're not chained in any capacity, although it would be very difficult to. But the labor is astonishing.
Mm-hmm. What does the general condition of the workers look like? Like their overall health?
They appear to be fairly healthy. Certainly, they're fairly robust. But the conditions, as you've even gone down just one cavern, have become progressively worse.
Looking down through the hole, can I see more caverns below?
Possibly 1 or 2.
Is it just too dark beyond that, or?
Yes.
Okay. Pointing at the wheel itself, how many? And then point down. That's a 1.
He doesn't understand.
Sorry.
I can't
The
put it in
laborers
my
are
zip.
definitely looking at you with some interest, the ones that are taking rest.
Hello. If I try to walk over and talk to one of the laborers, does he stop me? One of the ones that's taking rest?
Who stop you?
Anesh.
No.
Okay.
He's deferring to you in every single way.
You are the queen bee.
That could be scary.
Depends on what you do with it.
That's right. Walk over to one and nod and hello. Mo. Point to the laborer. 8.
He doesn't speak.
Look at Anesh very curiously. Mo. Point at the laborer.
It's a word you've not heard before.
Just look at him and... What? What does that mean? For?
He points to the laborer and says something to him, and the man opens his mouth. He has no tongue.
Oh. Point at the other laborers and ask Anesh, same? 9?
Some.
Why? 5.
You're given a complex answer that he's trying to keep basic. You get the sense that some of these people are here for different reasons. Ra is mentioned.
Okay.
food is mentioned, water is mentioned, but you don't get a general sense of the overall way this hangs together.
Okay.
I'm not there.
Unfortunately.
Sorry.
Okay. That's probably all I'm going to get out of him about this that I'll be able to understand. So I'll just motion back up.
The fellow tries to grope you.
Nice.
Anesh pulls a dagger and stabs him.
Can I get a reflex check to stop Anesh?
Give me a roll.
D10 or 20?
D10.
I don't do jack.
No, you are so surprised by this sudden reversal of how you've been treated that Anesh is able to do what he does quickly and efficiently. He stabs this man in the arm who howls in pain, and the others who are there with him hurry him off into the depths.
Looking very dumbfounded at this point and surprised. Why? What? That's a 2, marginally better. Not much.
You get the sense that Anesh is not quite looking at you as if you're a child, but he doesn't understand why you can't understand.
I understand that the guy groping me is bad, but why did he stab him in the arm? Seemed a bit of an escalation.
That depends on who you talk to.
Fair point, ma'am. Okay. I'll let the other laborers take care of that guy and motion out again. Move on.
You're guided back up towards the surface, the occasional scream drifting up from below.
Ooh.
No, to
as the sound
send
of
the
the water
doctor out there.
wheels fades behind you.
Okay.
Back to the captain.
Oh, wait, I've got an app for this. Oh, wait. All right, we're leading the... all right, the caravan is headed back towards...
After several hours of travel, you do reach the Stargate, the complex deep in the desert, rising up with its obelisks facing you.
Excellent.
There appears to be nothing out of the ordinary.
Any tracks?
No.
Okay. Lead up.
The families lead you into the complex, several of them taking and guiding their animals in with you.
Okay.
In towards the gate room, where they look at you expectantly.
Dial it up.
All right. The locals know enough to stand well back, although they don't really go into the gate room itself. They're watching you carefully as the gate comes to life and your radio comes to life.
Okay, what do I... does it... is there incoming transmission already?
Yes.
Okay, what does it say?
Stargate Command calling away team. Come in, please.
Did they give us a specific designation, and are they using that designation? Okay,
Yes, they are.
This is away team
Yes.
to Stargate Command. We read you. Over.
SG10, report your status, please. You're overdue.
We are going to return to Cheyenne Mountain to update General Hammond. We have information, and a new situation has arisen. We need to speak with General Hammond immediately.
Understood, SG10. We will be receiving.
Okay, do we have GDOs at this point?
No.
No? Well, just walk through the gate. Anybody, we don't know, we don't care, whatever. It's all just, come on down. Sure, it's fine. Go on in. All right, then, Red, I want you to make sure that everybody that's with us makes it through the gate. I will go through first, and I roll on in through the gate. I expect his wife will round up everyone else and send them on through.
Yes, she does.
Understood.
Okay. Then we're going to roll on through.
You arrive, and so do the civilians with you, to a somewhat dumbfounded control room.
What the hell?
Yeah.
As you see civilians, families, and pack animals packed into the reception room on the other side of the gate,
Excellent.
which closes behind you just as the last one steps through.
Excellent. I'm going to seek out General Hammond.
There's a lot of conversation up in the gate room.
I'm sure there is.
I will follow you.
I'm waiting for the overhead speaker of, "Hey, Captain, what's going on here?"
Your wife stays on your arm.
Okay.
But
you're
she
not
does,
getting her off of that.
Everyone's apprehensive, clearly. I mean, they've never seen anything like this before, but your wife is holding on to you.
I will look at her and ask her to stay here, and then I'll pantomime that I will be back.
She understands.
Good on you, big man. I'd have been like, "I'm sorry about you, lady."
Yeah.
Only a few minutes pass before... Captain Covington, please report to the debriefing room. Captain Covington.
Yeah, let's go, Red. Come on.
Affirmative.
And we head up to the debriefing room.
You're seated there, and only a minute or two passes before General Hammond enters the room.
Rise and salute.
Same.
He's looking at you somewhat incredulously, but he comes over and says, "Sit down, Captain. I trust you have an explanation for me."
Sir, yes, I do, sir. You want the long story or the short story, sir?
I want the accurate story, Captain.
The accurate story is we arrived, we made our way to the mine. There were words between me and
Turnus.
Mr. Turnus. We left Mr. Turnus and Tammy Moore there with the two other civilians, or the two other contractors, to survey the mine. We then traveled to the main city of...
Nagata.
Abydos.
No,
that's
Nagata. I wanted to say Nefrit. Nagata. Where we met... What's your bride's name? What's your bride's father's name? Safre, and her father's name? Kasuf.
Him too.
Kasuf.
We met Kasuf, the head priest. We met Master Sergeant Calhoun. Ended up relating a little too diplomatically with the locals and got himself a wife.
Yeah.
We found out that Ra is dead. The others are not. Isis, Osiris, what are the other ones?
Sekhmet.
Anubis.
I was not privy to this information, sir.
They're apparently more than just Ra, like a lot more. Isis is a female counterpart to Ra that apparently steals children. Apparently every 10 to 12 years, she rolls up into town and steals all of the children. Hence, when we said we were going to report back, the children were packed up and sent with us for protection. Because we have killed Ra, we have earned the inimitable placeholder
Moniker.
Prize of being the new champions and protectors of Abydos. We have inherited the title of Grand Shield, or whatever that is, that when the bad things come, we are what's going to stand between them and whatever Egyptians show up out of space. Daniel Jackson is not dead. He went west to some land that they call the Land of the Dead, but he, his wife, Sharay, and a bunch of the villagers went that direction. So we need to go back. We need to find Daniel Jackson. We need to probably bring a battalion or two of Marines with us so that we have some heavy firepower when whatever it is that shows back up to steal all the children. We've already promised, at least our translator and the doctor did, that we were going to make every effort to try and get all of the children back. Yeah, what was that?
Blame us because we're not there.
Yeah, exactly. Under the bus. Like, look at the bus. I hope you just slide under the bus.
Throw it in reverse.
Yeah. So we have the kids. We need to find Jackson. We need to protect because ISIS is going to show up. Apparently, the planet is larger than we'd anticipated. There's at least the land of the dead, if not a couple of other places that we need to map out. We have really good relations with the locals because we inherited the idea of protector. And by the way, we're going to bring all your kids back. Once again, the doctor and the translator. And that's pretty much the accurate story, sir. At that point, I knew that I had to come back, inform you, and to be frank, sir, ask what the hell we need to do next.
Hammond sits there for a little bit, looking at you, digesting that. And after a moment says, Captain, 28 years, that may be the worst debriefing I have ever had. Am I to understand that you have obligated the United States government in a defense treaty against several advanced alien beings while your master sergeant deflowered a princess?
Yes.
I had that question. Was it to you, sir?
Sir, that is how I come to understand it.
I see. Since your mission is clearly not yet complete, and you have left at least several members of your assigned team as well as the civilian contractors behind, I presume I am going to look forward with great eagerness to the subsequent debriefing when you return.
Yes, sir.
And what exactly have you promised these refugees?
Red's wife is going to take care of them. Go ahead, Master Sergeant. Tell him what the plan is. You and your wife have talked it over, I'm sure. And I sit back.
I look blankly back at you. Plan, sir?
Well, as the conversation went with the translator, she wanted to know what her duties were, and one of them is to help you and yours.
Oh, yeah, exchanging of cultures and understanding each other and all
And
that
bodily
jazz.
fluids, that sort of thing.
Wow. Sir, I didn't want to turn her down. I thought that'd be detrimental to relations, so I just went with it. She was very aggressive, sir. I thought that was very accurate. Out of character. Throw that thing in reverse.
Right.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
One of my best friends was a former master sergeant, served in the Philippine Islands. His wife belonged to a tribe of headhunters 2 generations back. That is an aggressive wife.
You haven't met, I guess, my wife, sir, but understood.
Sergeant, I expect you to do right behind this woman.
And in front of her, sir.
Wow.
Do you get the opinion that I am being flip?
No, sir, you are not. I will do right by her in this situation, I assure you.
Through your independent command, Captain, you have obligated this government, and I do not even begin to understand the depth of the commitments you have made to these people. However, I am damn sure that I am going to by the time this is done.
Understood, sir.
Do you have any extra requirements for supplies?
Why, certainly we do. We'll have a list to you within the hour, or to the quartermaster within the hour.
That would be refreshing.
Yes, sir.
Captain, I am gravely concerned by the direction this has taken. However, I am not in your shoes, and I am not going to second-guess you at this point. However, I do suggest that there better be a reasonable explanation at the conclusion of this affair.
Yes, sir.
I am not pleased, Captain.
Understood, sir.
Very well. You have your orders, and they have yet to be carried out in full. Get your team back and get me the answers we need.
Yes, sir.
Dismissed.
And I stand up, salute, and leave.
Same.
He's
He's obviously not
very
happy.
not pleased by having
30-some. God.
Migrants, yes.
Yeah.
Dropped at his doorstep, and they don't speak a word of English, obviously.
No.
You've given a cryptic,
Very.
Vague.
Yeah.
Slightly,
but unpromising report as
Quite.
to what you've promised these people, and indicated the unspecified presence of several advanced aliens. He's not happy. No. You have very much peed in his Wheaties.
Trust me, sir. At this point, I'm not happy. It's okay. I fully understand how that is flowing down and uphill. Yeah.
And Captain, maybe non-military personnel shouldn't make
All the command decisions
Just-
on their own and commit forces. Yeah, maybe that housed the thing there.
Then
ladies.
maybe military command personnel should learn how to speak the language.
Amen to that, sister. I think that's a thing. That's going to be Mo's next task when we get back there. She's going to teach me the language.
We'll see how that goes.
Sit over there and tap your nose at me. Yeah, that's spot on, isn't it? You should teach us.
Are you
'Cause you
sure
gotta-
about that?
You got to teach
Yes.
him too.
I
Absolutely.
got to learn first.
Yeah, okay. That's all right. I understand that.
Right. You proceed to head off to the quartermaster, and you head back to your wife, I presume.
Sure. Are you going to do right behind her?
And in front.
Okay. Wow.
Go check on the other refugees.
Yeah, good. They might be hungry.
Those needs are being taken care of by several Air Force orderlies. They are trying to settle them into various rooms while some decisions are being made as far as settling them. Your wife is understandably looking towards you to try and explain as best you can what's to be done with them, because they're very concerned about being in a structure that apparently there's no outside.
Yeah.
The pack animals that have come with them are being led off through the corridors, much to everyone's consternation. But generally, it's going fairly well.
Okay. And I'm, after all this, going to take my wife and take her to wherever my room is. I don't remember if we actually...
You do have assigned room.
Yeah. So take her to that room and try to explain that this is where we reside.
Hey, you can now put in the paperwork to go from a single to a double.
Boom.
Meanwhile, back on Abydos, we rejoin
4-month wait
doctors.
list.
Hello.
Hello again.
Anesh has offered to guide you back to the city.
Okay.
Though, give me a roll.
Don't be a 1 or a 2. 8. I'll take it.
You smell the telltale sign of water in the air. And as you look off towards the west, you see something of a shimmer.
Point at it. What? 9.
He reaches down and he draws in the sand like it's a river.
We go. 10.
All right. You make your way further west, and after about 3 or 4 miles, you draw over a dune, and there below you do see a river winding its way through the hills. There's some vegetation, a few trees, lots of marshy area as it leads down towards the waters.
I'll start walking down towards the river.
Okay.
Does he follow?
Yes.
Does he try to stop me?
No.
Okay. Get up to the marshy area and take off my shoes and wade through it.
It's muddy.
Yes.
However,
It's a nice
you
change.
do see about half a mile up the way, there's apparently a dock of some sort, and there is a boat on it.
Point at the boat and ask him what. 6.
That leads you to the land of the dead.
Jackpot. I will start wading in that direction, towards the boat.
Why do you wish to go there?
To find Daniel Jackson.
He would be on the other side.
But the boat takes us.
It's a very large boat. I should clarify that.
Okay.
This is definitely something for several people to row.
Can I just go up to it and kind of inspect it and
Absolutely.
check it out? Okay. File that away for later.
It's a reed boat, constructed and wrapped together in several bands. It does appear that it has a good amount of space. There's a platform in the center, and it generally appears to be propelled by oars that are set inside.
Okay. Ask him how many people can go. Then I won't ask him anything because that's a 1. Bleh. I seem to
4.
say. 4? That's a large boat for 4 people.
4.
4 people in the boat? 4 is what I rolled.
4.
Yes, it understood.
He doesn't understand. But, just looking inside the boat, counting the oars, you would guess that at least about 20 people would be required to row this.
Okay.
And how far is it across to the shore?
How wide is the river?
Yeah.
It's probably about a mile and a half. It's a generous sized river.
Okay.
That is enough to separate the land of the living from the land of the dead, I do believe.
Yeah.
So I'll point across the river and downriver. Land of the dead? Question?
He points off towards the horizon, which seems to be somewhat mountainous. It's very hard to see anything clearly because obviously the dunes rise on the far side of the river, and there's always the occasional haze in the air. But you do see, definite mountainside.
I was pointing again at the mountains as confirmation. Land of the dead?
Yes.
Okay. Daniel Jackson,
And
pointing that way as well?
he points 2 different directions.
Are either of those directions towards the mountains?
Yes, both, but different.
Like different sides of the mountains, kind of?
Possibly.
So he could have gone either way? Just mimic pointing at both directions again and asking for confirmation. Daniel Jackson?
Yes.
Sade?
Yes.
Okay. File that away for when they get back.
All right. You head back, and after several hours, you return and are taken, after some conversation with Anesh and Scott, back towards the infirmary where the doctor is waiting.
Hiya, Doc.
Hello.
As you've finished your visual, the priest has been wrapped in burial clothes, and Kasuf has been there. He has presided an elaborate ceremony over the body.
Okay.
And seeing you back, he turns and asks, "Do you wish to join the procession?"
Sure.
Yes, please.
Very well.
I'll get
Then
this.
tomorrow we will go to the land of the dead. And on that note, thank you for joining another episode of Stargate SG10. We look forward to speaking to you again.
And as always, you'll hear from us real soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. And that's it tonight for us on the Gaming with Scott Presents Season 1 of Stargate SG10. You can always send us an email at gamingwscott@gmail.com or catch us on Twitter. Joshua Jackson is at ActionJack853. and me, Scott T, at Gaming W Scott. You can always find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Gaming W Scott. This is a Southgate Media production. Remember, we all represent Earth every time we venture out into the world and beyond. Be the example you want to see. And as always, you'll be hearing from us real soon.